Our priority as a department is emergency response. If somebody dials 911, we want them to respond as needed.
That emergency response might be a single patrol car, or, in the case of a disaster, all available personnel.
A lot of it is coordinating with others to get the job done with very limited resources.
In Larimer County, we do an enormous amount of actual response coordination of actual resources out in the field at an incident command post, whatever.
Our fire crew is an on-call fire crew, so they're not here necessarily at our facility, but when there is a fire, they are paid to go out and fight wildland fires, either in the county or throughout the country. Now, the search and rescue team and the dive rescue team are volunteers.
Whether you are a survivor of a disaster or a victim of a crime, Larimer County has people to help you.
As a victim, you've already sustained a tremendous amount of trauma from the crime. You feel like you don't really have a voice. Victim advocates are there to ensure and reassure victims that they do have a voice. Last year, we collected about $14 million in restitution for victims of crime. So it's a huge program.
One place you don't really want to stay here in Larimer County is here at the county jail.
We run the only jail for the county. So if somebody's arrested in Fort Collins or in another municipal area, that's where they're going to be taken. So it's a necessary function. It's mandated by state law. We have to have the jail here and operate it.
As the county grows, you would expect the jail to grow just as fast. In the early 2000s, that's exactly what was happening. At that point, it looked like we were going to have to spend $60 million to expand the jail and an additional $7.5 million each year just to keep it up.
We created a committee called the Criminal Justice Advisory Committee, and one of the first things we did is we put a cap on the jail, 460 inmates in the jail. We looked at who's coming into the jail. Can they get out sooner than 3 days, which was kind of the process prior to pretrial services.
It used to take quite a while to get out on bond after you were booked, and we had people waiting around in the jail who hadn't even been tried yet. Now, pretrial employees work with the courts to bond people out quickly. That alone cut the jail's population down by 15%. Then there are alternative programs, like work release. People who are not considered dangerous can serve out their terms here instead of in the jail. They sleep in this facility and then leave for their jobs each day.
Another program is the Midweek and Workender program, which is an intermittent program. It takes place on either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday, Sunday.
You know, instead of throwing everybody in jail and costing them jobs and their family lives, it's already hard enough. So we get to come here and save it all. I own my own company here in town, and it keeps me being able to run my business and keeps me out of jail. And yet I still get to repay my debt to society.
We assign offenders to different crews and send them out in the community. And they do a variety of different manual labor tasks for nonprofit and tax-supported agencies in the community.
Here, there, and everywhere, we're kind of silent, but we get in there and get it done, get it cleaned up, and just help out the community.
At much less cost than having somebody in jail. Jail is about $87 a day. The cost for the taxpayers in an alternative program averages about $25 a day.
A pretty staggering number is for every 32 offenders in the jail, it costs taxpayers $1 million a year. So any number of offenders that we can get into the alternative programs, provide them with ties to their community, and get them through their sentence, saves taxpayers a significant amount of money.
Kids are a somewhat different situation than adults.
Kids are apt to make mistakes. They don't think like adults, and so in general we want to keep juveniles out of the system as much as possible.
The juvenile division works with kids 10 through 17, and depending on the charges, they may choose to prosecute, send them to a diversion program, or even just sit them down and give them a good talking to.
We try to address the issue and hopefully prevent it from happening in the future.
64% of public safety services is from your local property taxes. 36% is from state and federal funding, as well as fees for criminal justice, sheriff, and the district attorney.